It appears that everybody has a lot of questions because they're all coming to me. I'm sitting at lunch and they're being passed over to me, verbally, on notes, mentally, psychically. And so here I am thinking I got a lot of cleansing to do because I feel like I'm carrying the burden here. But I'm also getting a lot of assistance. This wonderful little piece of jewelry was given to me this morning. There she is right there. This has been powerful. This has been incredible. I mean, it was incredible to see it as a gift, and I felt a charge when I received it. Are there opals? Is that what's on here? Do you remember? What is it? Carnelia? Is that what it's called? I don't know all the different gems and so forth. I do know that this has been powerful. So I feel like I've been given assistance that's helping me ground because I'm feeling a buzz coming from this. I'm feeling a buzz coming from the energy of the room. Some people have already talked about this floor is shaking. One person said the floor was shaking. Somebody else said it felt like there was an earthquake. Somebody else felt that they were dizzy, which I also felt a little bit of, and they were attributing it to the room or the energy in the room. I don't know what's going on. I'm just cleansing. I don't know. One of the questions that was coming up was the idea that with Dr. Len saying that when my book comes out, the shit's got to hit the fan, and the email I got yesterday was only level 1, level 6 is still to come. Is that a self-fulfilling prophecy? Sound like a good question? Yeah. So I'm going to answer it intellectually and then see what he says, because my understanding is he's doing his best to read whatever the divine is bringing to him. Now, a long time ago, when one of the seminars I attended with him, the question came up, how do you know when something that comes through is a memory or from the divine? It's an inspiration. How do you know the difference between a memory and an inspiration? Does anybody know? Yes?
I believe Dr. Lynn answered that question before lunch. He said you don't know. So just keep cleaning.
That's exactly right. You don't know. And that's what he said before. You don't know. Because I remember I was in a seminar, and he picked on me in that seminar in a very loving way. But he said, Joe, if someone gets cancer, how do you know if that came from their memory or that came from inspiration? And I thought for a while, can you say that again? And he said, if somebody has cancer, did they get it from a memory or did they get it from inspiration? Was it given to them from the divine as something to help them along in their journey? And I thought for the longest time, man, I should have a good answer to this, but I didn't. And so I said, I don't know. And he said, that's right. You don't know. You don't know. You just have to clean. You don't know. So when you say, Dr. Len, that this is going to hit warp 6 or level 6 and the book is going to hit the fan, do you want to address, is that a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Okay. I want to know who said that. Who asked that question?
I asked it.
Oh, okay. So you ever notice, for example, that animals know an earthquake's coming before you? Yeah. Why is that? Is it an earth-fulfilling question? See, Bruce got it. That's wonderful. So wouldn't you want to get something before it happened and you could prevent it from happening? Well, I would. Why, coming back again, why is it that animals pick these things up before we do? Because we're unconscious. But they're close to the earth. They know how sacred the earth is. This is why my friend Rodney, come up here and bring the picture of the mice or the rat. Now, my friend Rodney takes a picture and he's looking at this thing, and I'm looking at it and I said, that's a rat. And it's a beautiful picture. And he said, what are you gonna have an exhibit saying what?
Happy accidents.
Happy accident. So this picture he took is a happy accident. But this picture here is of a little mice. Thank you. And what that little mice is saying to you, now that I see it come up, is it knows an earthquake is going to come before you. It's not self-fulfilling. It's going to happen. But somebody will pick it up before you. Lucky you, if they're cleaning. So this notion about self-fulfilling prophecy is, again, it's just memories. You're either in memory or you're zero, or you're in inspiration. What's a self-fulfilling prophecy? bullshit stuff. Everybody knows that something's going to happen before we do. The animals start running. Did you notice, for example, when that earthquake hit outside of what happened is before that thing really, all the animals began to move out. Except who? They went down and looked at the ocean and all this. I mean, come on, give us a break. So there are forces that know that something's going to happen before it happens. And if I were you, I would like to be clean enough so you could see it. And you can get the hell out of the way or clean it up. Yeah. So this notion about self-fulfilling is really an intellectual gymnastics. I mean, you're either in or you're out. You're either in rhythm or you're out. You can't be in and out at the same time. You'll split your pants. Yeah. So if I were you, I would spend a lot more time cleaning. When something comes up, you should be like my friend here, Gloria. You should be pushing your foot to the wheel called cleaning. Let's say we have a discussion about self-fulfilling prophecy. It'll go crazy. Everybody will have an opinion. All hell will break loose. This is what you find in psychiatric units. Yeah, people like you are going berserk. We want to calm everything down. We have that opportunity to do that by erasing this stuff. Anybody else with a question? Yes. Now we get to clean with this now. This is an unclarity. So we want to thank her for this. Yes.
On the subject of being close to the earth, would you consider the Native Americans close to the earth?
Now, when you say Native Americans, I'm not sure who you're talking about. Because, I mean, that's kind of a general, because there's a whole bunch of them. But let me be more specific. And I'm not clear what I'm talking about. But there has been a tribe of Indians, American, that were the only folks as a people who ultimately made the apex of consciousness. Which means for them, consciousness was such, they were so clear that they could walk through time and space in different dimensions, not bothered them. If you had that happen to you, you'd go crazy. That's what you find in psychiatric units. People who really can see and know, but we think they're crazy. That's why for me it was such a privilege to be in a psychiatric facility, because I could see that they could see, and I went, wow. And then I had a friend of mine just recently, he's a demolition, he has a company that breaks things down. So he was invited, had an offer to go to the psychiatric unit in New Jersey, where there was a possible job that he would be taking down so-called asbestos ceilings. So, he's saying he's in this ward and all these people going by. I mean, like, he's describing this. And he said, wow, his skin, I mean, he felt like he was in a different dimension. He did his cleaning. And when he did his cleaning, he couldn't hear them anymore. Everything he was in his own place, where you are. As long as you're in your own place, everybody else will be. Everything will go quiet. But the idea is if you're asking about that particular Indian tribe, there was one who went completely to the apex. In fact, if you look at their culture, see, I'm hopefully erasing confusion over here. If you look at this particular culture in general, the Indian, one of the things you'll see is they build something called a teepee. So I'm looking at the teepee from the top down. Have you ever seen a teepee from the top down? Sorry. What you do, if you would see it like that. Now, if you went to Egypt, where we think it's such a big deal, so you go see those folks. But this was built on what premise? What were the pyramids built on what premise? What was the premise of building? Yeah, it was power and glory. But the Indians had a different take. They weren't interested in power and glory. They were interested in the spirit. So they did this and they were inspired, because the circle means what? Completion. Completion. So there's this notion, you're getting this, but see, we think that one of the things you will see, if you actually trace them, when they're gone, they're gone. These things go. They go. Sorry. Which means then you will never see these after. The Indians had such a love for the earth that when they went, everything went. You don't see any monument. Us Americans were big on monuments. But the Indians were for the land, it was sacred. So they left nothing behind, which is great. When they were done, they were done. So this idea with the Indians, this consciousness, this completion, this ability to actually, they use corn as the ability to touch the cosmos. They used the redwood to touch the cosmos. Those, for them, they were cleaning tools. So their consciousness was so complete, it was just mind-boggling. That's something that perhaps you and I would have difficulty, to be in that state of consciousness and being everywhere at once. I mean, your ear's there, like, in the Picasso pictures, your ear's there, your nose is, that's how goofy you could be in this so-called consciousness in which nothing logical, linear exists. And that's where you want to be. That's where I want to show you that you can go. You can go and be everywhere and nowhere at once. And that's the only reason why I'm here, is to show you something you already know, already have, it's already yours. I'm just saying, hello, this is you. And when you are you, complete whole, you're everywhere and nowhere at once. You're free. As opposed to being stuck in, I know, I believe, this is who, it's crazy. But to get it back to zero, it's a tough place to go. So any other questions that you had over the lunch hour that we can look at? Please. I don't want to discourage from anybody. But the ultimate goal, purpose, is to go home. And when you're home, that means you're home with yourself. It's like if you read like Hamlet. Hamlet is accused by Laertes that he did something, and Hamlet is saying, no, I didn't do it. It's my memory that did it, not me. He's still responsible, but he was clear enough to know he didn't offend Laertes, not him. The memory offended him, but he was responsible for that. Now, if you want to know the other person, as God created the other person, you can only know the other person from zero, from yourself. There's no other way you can know the person. You cannot grasp the other person with a memory. Not possible. Not possible. You cannot grasp knowledge and wisdom. You can't hold. Once you're stuck in memory, you're stuck in time, place, emotions, you're stuck. But once you get rid of it, once you do your cleaning, get rid of it, now you're back to yourself and divinity shows up. And you get reborn. That's what inspiration is to be reborn, made new again. Yeah. And that's all we're going to do today. I'm going to show you some cleaning tools in which you can do that. Any questions? Wow, you should have more lunch, huh? I'm sorry? Yes.
The sense I get from what you're saying is that we are going back to place of endless possibilities, where we don't allow our emotions, our memories, our beliefs, all the things that we've been taught influence whatever comes to us, so that we're more free thinking, that we're not bound by the limitations that we believe we have.
To be more accurate, we have created, accepted, and accumulated. You and me are responsible. Our parents didn't do it to us. Nobody did it to us. We didn't learn it from it. We came in with it.
We came with it.
Yes. So the question is, we're loaded. So now, are we willing to say, I'm willing to let go and let God? And if you're willing to do that, and you don't have to know anything, because to know something is to have knowledge. You want wisdom. And the only way you're going to get to this wisdom is you have to let go and let God. And what is that you're letting go? Who knows? Who knows? So I'll give you an example. There was a family that came from Africa to take the class in Maui that I did recently in November. And so, to make the story short, that they were concerned, the mother and the father and the sister were concerned that their son and brother was on cocaine and all that sort of stuff. Now, do you know what cocaine will do to you?
I've never done it.
I know, but do you know, but you don't want to know. No. But now what happens is that when somebody is in that state, what do we do? What do we do? We try to save them. Not possible. We have to save our own butts. And if we save our own butts, they will be fine. Guarantee. It's that old biblical saying, you got to take the mote out of your own eye before you take it out of your brother's eye. You got to do it. There's no way out. Because what you're seeing is always seeing with dark glasses. You never see correctly. And I want to let you know the intellect is so potent. Potent. It says this, it says that, it says how come, it asks questions, and then it goes on. But the intellect is only replaying data. To let it go is tough. The intellect will struggle. It will kill you rather than give it up. Did you know that? That's why we have wars. But nobody dies. Did you know that? Nobody dies. I mean, if you experience, I guess I better watch what I'm safe for this, huh? Yeah, I'm safe. So here's death. I'm gonna put death on the board. That's it. But you cannot die. Not possible. You can experience death, but you can't die. That which God created whole and perfect, that perfect part of you cannot die. How wonderful. But you can experience death. But it's just a lousy memory. And now we can get through all the patterns of like tug and pull, because the intellect is, I'm not saying don't do it, but the intellect is ferocious. It'll eat you up. This is why for me it's dangerous to do these kind of classes, you know. I'm surprised even Joel would do it, you know. I mean, so having said all that, any questions about anything? Because I'm going to go into another cleaning tool. Yes, Joseph?
How did you handle the people that came to you with the son that had a cocaine problem?
Very simple. I just did my cleaning.
But when they came to you, were you quiet? Did you talk to them?
Here's what happens. So I'm going to show you the mechanics of what happened. So I want you to know there's only one, there's no 2 or 3 gods, like in the Greeks. The Greeks had many gods. The Romans had many. But for you, or at least the pitch I'm going to make, you only have one divinity. So now here is this person I'm going to call the Papa. And here's me to keep it simple. So in the beginning, when we were created perfect. See, 0. Which 0 means nothing happening. Pure state of bliss. It's kind of like nothing to do, don't have to work, don't have to earn a living, don't have to worry about being in a relationship. What, no relation? Oh. You're free. And this is the way you will always be. Now, the problem is, so now the Papa shows up in my life, and this is me. Papa says to me, my son has this problem. Well, the reason Papa is saying it, because we have memories in common. Simple as that. Papa wouldn't tell me that if I was free and he was free. He'd tell it to somebody else. But there I am. I'm stuck. So now, what happens is you can do what with it? What can you do with this if you were me?
Take it up to the divine, yeah.
Okay, but what's the usual route to go?
Erase it.
What's the usual route?
Try to fix them, try to say it out.
Yeah, the idea is you're going to try to say, well, how come? Why? I mean, but what you don't realize is that behind the Papa is zillions and zillions and zillions and zillions of family relatives and ancestors. So if you take Papa on, you're taking them all on. This is how, if you do it, if you think you're gonna do it to them, you're gonna get burned to the max. You're taking on a whole slew of people. So the way to do it is very simple. So if you're willing to be 100% responsible, you have to say, what's going on in me that I should experience between this with the Father? So you go very simple. So now, the conscious mind, this is the conscious, this is the subconscious, and the pay attention, because I'm talking about me and you. So now the conscious mind has to say, what is going on in me that I experience this? Not what's his problem. You ever notice we're always saying what's the other person's problem? Not here in Texas, only in Hawaii. Yeah, what's the problem? Okay, now I do the cleaning. So let's do the cleaning call. I love you. I love you. That's the conscious mind has decided it's going to be 100% responsible. And as you remember, when I said I love you, what is involved in that? What is the elements involved is repent, I'm sorry, forgive, please forgive me, and then the transmutation. So over here, I do the cleaning. I go, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. The thing goes down. It never goes up. It always goes down to the subconscious because that's where the problem is. Always goes down. So when you make a petition, if you petition directly to divinity, it never works. It's going the wrong way. It has to go down into your soul where the problem is. So now it goes down. It goes up to the superconscious of the spirit. You'll get it. Superconscious of the spirit goes up. Then it goes up to divinity. Ding, 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 ding. Divinity says, taking responsibility. So now what happens is now the energy called the mana goes downward. It goes down this side spiritually. That's how it goes. It goes down together mentally. So the conscious mind is the mental aspect. It goes down into goes down to the subconscious, and then it begins the process of taking the memory. So this energy is coming down, taking that memory and purifying it, taking it to pure energy. This is what divinity can do, and then it leaves it blank. It's released it. So now, everything's back to zero again. And if I'm willing to keep doing that, that fellow will be okay. Because if you're okay, everybody else, if you're not, you can tell right away. And that's the simplicity of it all. Yes, sir?
Now, would you please go back to and walk us through that one more time?
This one?
No, one before. Got it.
Yeah. So, problem. What definition of problem? A memory in the subconscious. So if somebody comes and sees me, like when I went to the hospital, never worked on anybody. Everybody's perfect. The only thing that's imperfect is the data. That's the imperfection. Everybody's perfect. The client is perfect, the Barry is perfect, the Papa is perfect, I'm perfect. What's imperfect is the data, the information. So when you say, I love you, that begins a process of remedy. It remediates the problem, which is the memory. So the energy goes down into the subconscious, goes up to the divinity who can transmute, avoid the memory. Only this can do it. And then it sends down the mana both sides, comes down and erases both of those, and it cuts the tie, and you're free, as you were in the beginning. So you're free. It's working, and then you're free. And once you're free, everything else is free on the earth. For example, if you travel and you experience jet lag is simply a memory. Thousands of memories. So I'm going to show you how you can prevent jet lag. I don't know how many of you travel, but I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very simple to do. But now I'm going to show you how, no matter how you travel, you can always be home in yourself. I'm not experiencing jet lag. Okay? So I'm going to do that now, unless you have any questions about how it works. Yes?
I have a question on prayer,
Yeah?
which is a petition to God.
Yeah.
So that needs to go, I was thinking of it going upward. So I'm rethinking that now, that it needs to go downward, then back upward.
Yeah, because the subconscious is the bridge. You have to cross that bridge.
Okay, the subconscious to the superconscious, right?
Yeah, it can't. Otherwise, you leave out an important part of the resources, which is this. This is the most important part of you, is that subconscious. But if you go up, which you can't do it, you would leave that part of you gone, when that's where the problem is. Yeah. Yes.
On that, is it fair to say that this family that came to see you had this problem in common with you, or it was a problem you had in common with them?
Does it make any difference?
I guess what I'm trying to sort out is that that the two of you came together for a reason, to erase that memory.
Yes.
And once that memory's erased,
Yes.
then the problem for both of you is gone.
Yes.
Okay. Even though it wasn't a direct problem for you,
It is a direct problem for me.
but you didn't know it until you.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I'm saying to Joe Batali. The book is going to go out, and a lot of stuff's going to come up that we don't know that's
We
there.
don't know that it's
Absolutely.
there. But it
But,
won't.
but if we're ready, we can start the cleaning now. So, for example, before you came, I have your name. I worked on you, this place, whatever is in me that would come up as crap, which means then the whole training will go, like that. But I'm responsible. I'm not going to wait up on anybody. If I waited up on anybody else, I'd be in trouble. Because this table right here is saying, I want to be free. But nobody pays attention to the table. Did you? Yeah. Why not?
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, because we don't have an appreciation that everything is life forms. Everything breathes. The carpet breathes. The room breathes. And we have a responsibility to set everything free. And we're not expecting you to do that. That's why I'm here. I'm here to say, hello, this room is sacred. We don't want anything undoing it, because if it gets undone, we're going to be in trouble. Now I'm cleaning, I'm watching, I'm going, uh-oh. This morning in Los Angeles, I heard this particular chair said, oh, I have financial problems. Can you imagine a chair having financial problems? I mean, doesn't that sound crazy? But what happens if you sat on it? You'd have that problem too. Yeah, yeah. So now, if this chair this is the chair, has the 3 cells. If this chair has that memory, guess what? We all have it. We all have it. There's that old Dumas novel, all for one and one for. If one is out, we're all out. So the idea is, hey, get to work. So when I did my cleaning, I watched the room, watched the chairs, wow, the chairs went crazy. Yes. And you can't blame anybody. Who are we going to blame? Nobody. Well, you have to be 100% responsible. I'm not here to blame. If I blame, I don't get my work done, and I'm crazy. So as simple as that. Problem. Where? In everything. How do you work on it? You. I love you. Thank you. I'm going to show you some others. Problem, the energy goes, divinity hears you, divinity goes up, erase, take you back to home again. And then you get what Joe is telling me. He's getting all this inspiration to do this, to do that, and you can do it too. He is not unique. You can do it too. Because there are things, for example, with Joe, there are things that Joe can do I can never do. I'm not created to do that. But there are things I can do, he can't do, you can't do. But there are things you can do. So wouldn't it be nice if we were all friendly? So we can all get, so we can all get about our business and do what we came to do. That's all I'm here to do is say hello. Let's be friendly. We can all be, yeah. Yes.
Practically, do you listen to them at the same time you do the think they love you? Do you do it afterwards? Do you teach them to do it?
I do it day in, day out, coming, going. So as I went to lunch, I was already cleaning with the food, the place, the room. When I left this room, I didn't want to leave any garbage behind, so I did my cleaning with the room. I watched it. You can see the room kind of stretch. Oh, what is this ceiling go? Ah. Really? Did it with his camera. Did it with his camera. The sound system did it all. Because listen, they're recording you. If you get sent out into the world, which this thing will do, whatever's out there, you're going to be bombed. Did you know that? Whatever you put out will come back and bomb you. Well, I don't want that to happen to me. Well, I don't want it to happen to you folks, but I'm cleaning with all this stuff. So when it goes out what? Clean. And it will do its thing. If it doesn't go out clean, it's hell to pay for all of us. I love this because it's 100% responsibility for everything. So now Joe's going to put those things out. I mean, we want to make sure if we go with it, we're not going to be slammed by it because it'll slam us. This is why the cleaning is so important because you're cutting. Here's the film. Here's you. Here's the film. You do your cleaning. You cut your tie. The film becomes zero. You become zero. It goes out clean. But if you don't do your cleaning, it won't go out clean. So all this filming that people are doing, boy, if I were running those things, I would go back and do all the cleaning with anything I've ever produced. Anything you can clean with it. So anybody? Yes.
I'm trying to compare this with recovery programs, first-year programs. There's so many families that are traumatized by family loved ones that have addictions, and if we somehow could make them understand this kind of
You don't want them to understand it. What you want to do is do your cleaning so that you can de-traumatize them by de-traumatizing you. They'll be fine if you're zero. In other words, if you're doing your cleaning and you're back to zero, they'll go back to zero. They gotta go. Divinity is not going to just take care of you. So if you're working with anything that's come up, it's just a memory. It's not them. They're perfect. You're perfect. It's a memory. So if it comes off of you, it'll come off of them. Come off ships. It'll come off oceans. You cannot believe how this thing will come off. It's monumental. Even though you just say, I love you, we cannot see the enormity of it all. So the idea is, if you take good care of yourself, everything else will be okay.
You know, I do take care of myself. I'm thinking of the others, the other families. Take care of,
You can give that up. Because what I'm saying is you think they need help. This is your thought of them when you can let those thoughts go.
When I see the suffering, yes, then I.
And you can, but that's right. If you feel the suffering, you can let it go. And when you let it go, it'll be gone from them. You know, for example, I got to come back. This was 20-something years ago. I got to come back to Hawaii State Hospital. So I walk the building. Don't talk to anybody unless somebody comes up to me. But we only pay attention to the human side. We don't see what the buildings suffer. I mean, suffer. You can hear the plumbing suffer. No trees, no plants could grow in this unit. No plant, nothing would grow. The thing peeling. The repair people would not want to come in because every time they come in and do a painting, a month or two, it'd be peeling. Well, nobody looks at how traumatized the environment is. I don't know anybody has got a PhD in how to make a building feel wonderful. Anybody here got a PhD in how we can make buildings feel wonderful? Yeah. Thank you very much. So, all you have to do is take care of yourself. Really. Yes.
The same thing is if you were like hospitals and you were to declare the energy in the hospital, it's the same thing. You're seeing that hospital as part of you, down in subconscious, up, down with the man, and the same thing. You don't love the building, you go back to the same process.
No, you're coming back to yourself because it is in you the problem lies, not anywhere else. So if you're going to be working, and if you're a nurse or anything else, you're working on your thoughts of, your experiences of. You're not working on the building. The building's perfect. Sorry.
So when you cleared this room before you came, you worked on your thoughts about this room?
I worked on whatever memories I had with the land, with the place, with people, with you, with the environment, with the building. I would ask, for example, the owner if he had problems with the building of this building. Shall we ask him? Did you ever have any concerns about the building, of this building? Anything happened that... Now listen, he's going to tell us. So like for what, for example?
You can have a sense about a building when you build it, whether it's it's a vibration, I guess. It's something, but the concrete comes and it's not mixed correctly. I know it. And
you see that? That's unusual. That he would know that when a concrete is mixed, before it comes, he knows it's not correct. How many of you would know that? He has this sense for that. Now what I'm saying to him, he can clean it before they mix it. And when he cleans it, they will mix it perfectly. But this building, as I watch this building is a wonderful building. But it had some rocky beginnings. And I think it's wonderful. You talk to the building, really, yeah. Like he's saying, they brought, these things, and I go, oh my God, are they going to put that on me? So you have this conversation. It's beautiful. But there he is, see? So he has this sense. And now you're in this building. If your building is unhappy, you're going to have problems. So we want to thank him, see, for having this kind of awareness. Can you imagine now, if he's paying attention and the building knows that he loves it, this building will go to the max for him. Which means this building can stay up 20 years beyond where however he lived. This building will feel this love once and for all, and you have to tear it down. No termite's going to get it, no earthquake, really, if it feels love. Even cars. Even cars. I had somebody moan and ground, but they always have repair problems. So I'm watching, I'm cleaning, and then you could hear the car say, well, he's not taking care of me. Why should I take care of him? Can you imagine? But that's what happens. We get what we deserve. Too bad. Yes?
When do we know when to stop about a particular issue?
Why do you want to even pay attention to that?
Well, a lot of times I continually
Yeah, but if you do it and the cleaning is to shift, it'll shift on its own. You don't have to pay attention to it.
We'll take it like an example. You cleaned and cleared before you came here.
Oh yeah, and I still am.
Well, yeah, and you will continue.
Oh yeah, I'll continue for years.
Thank you.
Yeah, years after I leave. It's not done. I'm not just passing through.
So we should have in our mind frames, our frame of mind, just constantly be doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because this building has family up there. And so you're cleaning with this building will say to those guys up there, wow, if you were here, you should see how good time I'm having. But if you're not doing the cleaning, this building will not support you. The electrical system, they'll do crazy stuff. Yes?
You shared at lunchtime with us that you've been doing this since the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, do you feel now that since you've been doing it for so long that it has percolated right down to your subconscious also?
I would say that much of the cleaning goes on in my child. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just working on the conscious level.
Yeah, but what happens is, and then I would like to take a break, because otherwise the subconscious is all going to leave and go on a break themselves, you know? So let's look at you. I'm talking about you as a mind. So this is self. This is you as a self or your mind. So all of the problems start here. And then the problem is exacerbated because the intellect hooks into that. So this is the intellect, and this is the physical aspect of mind. It is not the biology, but it's the physical aspect. So as soon as the memory comes up, the intellect hooks into it and says, oh, I know what's going on, or this is what I'm going to do, but it doesn't know what's going on. So now I have done it really just for eons, literally. So now this child has heard my cleaning process, and there are lots of them. But let me just put I love you. So this child already knows, because I've done it so often, that's what it needs to do if it feels a problem.
So are you doing this when your mind is focused on your life, you're going about you're doing whatever it is that you do? Are you doing it whenever your mind begins to wander?
I would say that would be a thing. Yeah. If I feel something up at this level, if something pops up, I start the cleaning. Yeah, but there's thousands and millions of cleanings going down here, because it's already been programmed to say, hey, when a problem comes up, let's get to it. And because it's the one that suffers, it's willing to do it. The suffering is here, not up here. This is a person that's going like that, big deal, but here the suffering is enormous.
So then for you, it's become like a reflex.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, possibly. But if I've been doing it long enough, that part of it says, oh, that's the way it works. But if I decide I'm going to do something else, then it gets confused.
But when you make the choice to begin your chant, do you actually think about it, or does it just actually just begin?
It just begins. Yeah. Anybody else before we take a break? Going once, going twice. Let's take a break. Yeah.